The Coder and the King's Command. Jax, a coder with a dream, stared at the screen. His project, Kingdom of Things, was a tangled mess. Arrows crisscrossed like angry spaghetti, a chaotic web of connections he couldn't escape. This is King Hierarch's way, he sighed, and it's a disaster. A big red X flashed on his monitor, mocking his efforts. From the corner of the screen, the ghost of King Hierarch appeared, his form pixelated and ancient. "My boy," he boomed, his voice echoing with ancient protocols. "Everything must have a proper lineage. A bird is an animal. It inherits its legacy. It is the only way." "But what about this?" Jax typed, creating a sleek airplane. "It flies, just like a bird." King Hierarch threw up his hands in horror. "An airplane is a machine. It cannot be a child of bird." A giant red X slammed down between them on the screen. "Forbidden!" Jax slumped in his chair, defeated. The king's rigid rules were clipping his wings. "There has to be a better way to build things that share abilities," he muttered, scrolling through developer forums for an answer. Suddenly, a new figure zipped onto his screen. She wore a jumpsuit covered in pockets and carried a glowing toolkit. "Heard you have a hierarchy problem," she said with a grin. "I'm Casey Compose. Stop thinking about what something is. Think about what it has." She held up a glowing blue cube labeled Flyer. Casey tapped the screen. A simple bird class appeared. "Your bird doesn't need to be a flyer," she explained. "Your bird just needs to have the flyer ability." With a flick of her wrist, the glowing blue cube flew across the screen and neatly nested inside the bird class. A green checkmark appeared. "Now for your airplane," Casey said. She duplicated the glowing Flyer cube. It zoomed across the screen and slotted perfectly inside the airplane class, just like it did with the bird. "See?" she beamed. "Flexible. Reusable." Jax's eyes widened. It was so simple, so elegant. He could give the Flyer ability to anything: a superhero, a magical carpet, a flying pig. The tangled web of King Hierarch began to untangle in his mind, replaced by neat, modular blocks. Casey led Jax to a new screen, a grand hall of code. Carved in glowing golden letters were the words every developer should know: the Golden Rule. Below it, in bold yellow, the word composition shone brightly, while the word inheritance sat quietly below in plain white. "Favor building with blocks," Casey said, over being trapped in a family tree. Back at his desk, Jax was no longer frustrated. He was an architect, a builder of elegant solutions. With Casey's toolkit of composition, his Kingdom of Things was finally becoming the masterpiece he'd always dreamed of. He turned from his clean, organized code and gave a confident smile. The adventure was just beginning.